Hey guys, welcome back to Starfield. Here with Average Tex. We are here in Sidonia, getting back on this mission with this doctor guy. Why aren't you following me?
Is that really her? Hadrian.
Percival. My God, look at you. You're an old man now.
You're no hassling yourself anymore, Major. Our friend here showed me your sample. Suffice it to say...
Not here. Let's talk somewhere more private. Lou said we could use the back. Lou gave me the abridged version of what went down. Yeah, I can't thank you enough for taking care of all that.
Makes two of us.
I hope it ultimately didn't end up being too much trouble. That's certainly not what I was expecting you'd have to go through. But thank you. I'm just glad you both came through intact. So, were you two able to get that workup together?
Got it right here. That sample? It's an exact match for the ones from Londinian.
Londinian. That's exactly what I was afraid of.
Not thrilled to be the bearer of that kind of news. That's for damn sure. So tell me you've got some kind of plan for that workup.
Well, right now, we've got more questions than answers. So I've been trying to figure out what it's gonna take to access our old Terramorph data.
Good place to start. What'd you find?
It's in the archives.
The Armistice Archives? Doesn't that mean we'd be dealing with the Cabinet? And the Freestar Collective? And House Varun somehow? Guess we can kiss that approach goodbye.
I didn't think the Cabinet would be willing to hear us out either. But I called in some favors. They've agreed to hear us out on two conditions. One, they want to see this analysis you two have procured. And two, they want to discuss what happened on Tau Ceti. With both of us. The Cabinet's the UC's highest governing body. The President, top military brass, scientific and diplomatic division heads. Any major decision the UC makes goes through them. They're the only real chance we've got of unlocking the archives. So without their blessing, we're flying blind. Well, that's about the best news I've had all day. But before you commit, I want to make sure you know the whole story. Percival and I, we're not just researchers. We were military scientists, ran a division of the UC together that deployed aliens on the battlefield as weapons.
Place I was hiding out. That was our unit's home base.
After some early fits and starts at other facilities, the place eventually became the heart of UC xeno-warfare. A practice that's been banned ever since the armistice went into effect almost 20 years ago. And the UC military cut us loose for what we'd done. Oh, well, that means a lot. It's not something I'm exactly proud of. But it was during that assignment that the UC asked us to explore deploying Terramorphs on the battlefield. The project never got off the ground, but the data our team gathered is now sitting in the archives, along with all the other information banned after the Colony War. Under the watchful eye of monitors from all the galactic factions still participating in regular politics. But if we can convince the Cabinet to help us access that data, it'll give us the tools we need to decipher what exactly this sample might mean. And hopefully, how to prevent more attacks like the one that spawned it. All right. I'm gonna go get this work up into the Cabinet's hands. I'll meet you out front of Mast in New Atlantis.
Good luck. You two are gonna need it.
Keep a lookout. Notify us if you see anything.
Great. More politics. Just what we needed.
Captain! Over here! The workup's in the cabinet's hands. They said they'll call for us once they've gotten to properly review it. But listen, I know I should have been more forthcoming about who I was earlier. So, in the interest of full disclosure, there's one more thing you ought to know before we head up there. My relationship with the UC. It's more complicated than it might seem at first glance. The UC's actually the only reason I'm here in the first place. I am a clone of a man named Francois Sanon, one-time fleet admiral of the UC during the Colony War, former head of the UC Navy. They called him Vae Victus, woe to the defeated, in Old Earth Latin, a title he earned. The program I was a part of, it was the UC's attempt to create a new generation of military minds from one of their most respected
Ooh,
tacticians.
she looked weird.
Secure the leadership of the UC military for generations to come.
It's those eyes.
I'm getting there. The man I was cloned from, my father, was executed for acts he committed during the war. The man caused a lot of death on both sides. Freestar Collective and UC. Military and civilians. And the things he did, well, they're a part of the reason the UC and Freestar Collective aren't really on great terms to this day. So my involvement, it could be another obstacle they throw at us up there. I just wanted you to be forewarned. I really appreciate you saying that. I just thought... You know, while we've got a second, was there anything else we needed to discuss? Or if you've got any no telling how long the cabinet's... Then I guess it's just...
The cabinet meeting is about to begin. All parties, please proceed to the cabinet chambers.
Ah, welcome. You must be the captain Hadrian mentioned in her report. You have our thanks for the risks you faced in securing this information.
Oh, I'm sure she did.
Yes, well, precisely how urgent is what I hope we'll determine here today. So now, we have two petitioners here making a surprising request. Access to the UC Xeno-Warfare Team's Terramorph data, currently housed in the Armistice archives. A request which will require not just this body's agreement, but that of all three Armistice signatories. UC, Freestar Collective, and House Varun. Now, Captain, we've all read Hadrian's report on the subject, but we have yet to hear from you. Perhaps you could summarize for the Cabinet what...
That's quite the leap, Captain. Madam President, I object to the very premise of this meeting. While no one would argue that what happened on Tau Ceti was anything less than a tragedy, Terramorph attacks are not some sudden new threat on the horizon. They've been happening for generations. To demand we hand over banned archival knowledge and possibly upset the balance of galactic seems at best panic. And at worst, a power grab by the daughter of a bloodthirsty warmonger and her associates.
I would remind the Chief Diplomat who he's speaking to. If it's my father you're looking to address, you're welcome to consult a medium. I would also ask how many deaths the Cabinet requires to act. 50? 50,000? Because if tragedies like Tau Ceti are just prelude to more attacks, I have no doubt you'll get the body count you require.
Let's keep this civil, and while there should be no doubt, the preservation of life stands paramount among this body's duties. Chief Yassine has a point. Will a single attack, however troubling, be sufficient to convince the other factions to grant us access to what they no doubt consider weapon data? I don't think it's enough. Perhaps you can help, Captain. As the one who actually collected the sample in question, did this Terramorph seem at all alarming to you?
Yeah.
That is worth considering. This attack took place on an almost completely uninhabited world. The casualties were minimal as a result. But if there's another attack, will we be so lucky?
Yes, a fine point, Admiral. So then, Captain, given the discussion now and the information you've been privy to thus far, if you were in our position, would you grant the request made to open the archives?
Yeah.
I'm inclined to agree.
As am I.
Very well. I can
You and I are in agreement, Chief Diplomat. So, if there are no other objections, I believe we can agree to give our full backing to make the request to... What was that?
Attention. An incident has occurred. Facility lockdown engaged.
Incident. Chief Sarkin, what's happening?
There's been an attack at the spaceport. Terramorphs.
Terramorphs. More attacks. Just as predicted.
Good God. There must be another explanation. The creatures evaded our scanner somehow.
There will be plenty of time for conjecture later. Chief Sarkin, order the evacuation of the spaceport and have your men contain the things, but do it discreetly. The last thing we need is a citywide panic.
Yes, ma'am.
Admiral Rogan, the local barracks can provide support?
I'll make the order myself. Nearest anti-Xeno squad, though, is off-world. Going to take a while to bring them in.
Well then, we'll have to make do with the tools we've got. You two, we can't risk those things getting out of the spaceport. I want you both on the next train there. We'll let them know you're coming, and that you've dealt with these things before. Now go show them how it's done.
I served my time in the fleet. I ain't.
Why are these civilians like this?
The way those people were acting. I've seen this before. They were under the...
I don't know. We tried to restrain them, get them on the train to get them... But some of the other officers down there... We couldn't restrain them fast enough. They just... started fighting.
Pheromonic projection. Some terramorphs, they can induce this fog. It affects everyone differently, but some people just lose control. Turn against everyone around them, even if they don't. You kill the morph, you break the hold. But this means we're gonna need to be real careful with our fire. Let's do it.
That's unlocked.
Oh, that's great. Have to use a less than lethal?
Evacuation order has been issued for the spaceport district. All citizens are required to proceed to the nearest shelter.
Everyone back up! Just stand there! Go, Dodge!
Wait, officer? Are you and this woman experts? Take whatever we can get right now. We've got the remaining creatures locked down on the landing pad, but we're barely holding our perimeter. They said you've done this before. Well, one fire team to spare and whatever supplies you need, but I can't risk them taking over any more men. Put those things down and do it fast. We'll hold them as best we can.
Heard you might be looking for some backup.
You two have any experience with terramorphs before?
Only the brief they just gave on the way here.
Surviving a full-on mental assault isn't the same as keeping your...
We're not UC security. You don't... Roger that. We're on you. Nosing around here's gotta have a death wish.
Need some ammo.
Yeah, change it.
myself just started shooting at myself, so that's not good. And trap
Yes, they... I don't want to think what would have happened if...
Just glad we could rise to the occasion. Captain, we should report back to the President. Let her know the Take care of yourself, Sergeant.
Attention. The spaceport has been secured. Safety precautions remain in place. Please wait for the clear signal.
You know, I thought that was gonna be way more hairy, but those second and third xenomorph are way easier to kill than the first one.
Whole building's unlocked.
That's a relief to hear. Captain? Hadrian? It would appear that the Cabinet owes you our thanks for what you did for the city today. As well as an apology. Your concerns about the Terramorphs, well, consider them validated.
Thank you, ma'am.
Of course. I only wish we could have acted sooner. Now, today's events have only clarified our path forward in the eyes of the Cabinet. You will have our full support in collecting the Terramorph data from the archives, as well as a subsequent investigation into the nature of these attacks. But to accomplish those goals, as such, the Cabinet has authorized me to reinstate you, Hadrian, effective immediately, to your former rank of Major. As soon as we've got the data in hand, we want you investigating these attacks and how to stop them. Will you do this?
Yes. Yes, ma'am. I'd be honored.
Excellent. But as you've both made clear, for such an investigation to succeed first, we're going to need someone to convince the Freestar Collective and House Varun to play ball. Someone who knows precisely the sorts of... The Cabinet wants you, Captain. We do. In exchange, we're willing to fast-track your citizenship upon collection of the data. So, will you help us? I'm glad to hear it. Now, we, of course, won't be sending you in without the proper support. Deputy McIntyre in the Office of Interstellar Affairs will be your guide on gaining access to the archives. You should be able to find her in her office across the hall. And on behalf of the whole of the United Colonies, you have our thanks. You're dismissed.
Damage to the space.
I'll get the text in with the chief.
These orders, a Vanguard captain. You... Yes, sir. I'll make sure they get what they require. That must make you my Vanguard captain. Welcome to Interstellar Affairs. I'm Deputy Chief Diplomat McIntyre, Chief Yassine's second-in-command. I heard you were instrumental in protecting the city from the attack. You have my gratitude. I was also informed that you gave quite the presentation to the Cabinet. Chief Yassine wants you to know the Interstellar Affairs Office is fully committed to this endeavor, accessing the Terramorph data and beyond. We're going to do everything in our power to make sure you have the tools you need. And that means first getting you into the archives. Someone paid attention in current events. So, then you also know that it was originally managed by the 3 major galactic players. Access to the archives is only granted in cases of dire emergency, and requires a one-time use code from each of the 3 armistice signatories. UC. Now, the UC is already on board, so that means we'll need to convince 2 people. The ambassadors of the Freestar Collective and House. Get them both and you'll have your data. But that's a lot easier said than done. I couldn't agree more. Both ambassadors have reasons they won't, or can't, work with us. Now, I'll provide guidance on how we believe you can acquire each code, but ultimately, it'll be up to you to get them both to cooperate. And I do mean cooperate. Threats and violence are off the table here. Though that doesn't mean we can't get creative. But it does mean we need to get you up to speed on who do you want to start with? Ambassador Radcliffe? Ah, the good Ambassador Radcliffe. She's a veteran of the Colony War, and her only goal in life is to make ours miserable. Now, officially, our office is suggesting you try and negotiate with her. Use your experiences as a member of the military and with the threat we're facing to convince her to lend her support. And who knows? But my suspicion is... Certainly. See, good diplomacy is all about the careful application of pressure. We just need to find the squeeze. UC Intelligence has a recording device planted in the ambassador's living. But getting caught trespassing is a quick way. So, if you are going to try and act... Now, we recovered some intel, but there's also a disgruntled staff member you might be able to... All right. Here, your diplomatic ID. I'll give them a heads up, you're on your way. Not likely to let you through the door otherwise. And take these. Chief Yassine wanted you to have some options on how to proceed in there. Ambassador Balmore, When the rest of House Varun retreated into seclusion shortly after the signing of the armistice, he's since lent his support to a small number of archives, though claiming to know how a member of House Varun thinks is a quick way to earn yourself a psych eval. It does, but there's a concern. We're not 100% sure Balmore is actually still alive. His public appearances were always rare, but scans of the facility show life signs. Your task is to find him, and kindly, but I have no doubt. Now, the embassy front door isn't an option, but our spies have stated there's a side entrance that should allow you access. Here, this device should get you all the way down to the embassy interior. Once you're inside, though, finding the ambassador is going to be up to you. And fair warning, we received a report that alarms might have been tripped inside the embassy during the attacks. Watch out for automated security in there. Now, if you have additional questions or require clearance for a new approach we haven't already discussed, I'd suggest you start with Ambassador Radcliffe. Be smart out there, Captain.
Excuse me. By the way, Captain, Sergeant Huey was looking for you. Sounds like he's coming.
Just doesn't add up. Spaceport has anti-xeno.
Bulk items may require multiple levels. Welcome to UC. Yes, of course. Please, take a look. You're always welcome back. If you don't mind a bit of a wait. Welcome to UC Distribution. Yes, of course. Right. Come back. If you need something else. Welcome to UC Distribute. Oh, well, sir. Back to it then.
I should buy more ammo too. Sorry, I know going back.
Welcome
and
to
forth is
UC
kind of
Distribute. I hope we have. You're always welcome back. If you don't.
Be careful if you run into those ecliptic jerks.
Exactly. It's like...
You are a visitor? You'll find the ambassador in her office. Go on through.
Visitors are only allowed in the lobby, offices, or Terramorphs. Is there more than one? All that security, and they still can't protect their own spaceport. The UC never fails to disappoint.
Yeah, that's rude.
I just wish I
Standing right
hadn't
here.
received the news from an SSNN broadcast. We have a strategic advantage to maintain, Mr. Long.
Of course, ma'am. I'll make sure it doesn't happen again.
I'm sorry. Ah, you're the one McIntyre called about. The eyewitness. You have my thanks for what you did down there. Now, she also mentioned that, and maybe it was just a bad connection, that now the UC wants Terramorph data from the Armistice archives. Some of the most highly guarded information. I can only presume you're here to tell me I misheard her and that they didn't send you, local hero, to futilely beg on their behalf. Tell me I've got that right.
Sent me to beg, pretty please.
Let me be frank, Captain. The answer is no. That information is there because it is dangerous. I will not be the one responsible for its release. You're really gonna push this? All right. I'm listening. I suppose you're right. Our job and our responsibility. It's possible I might be letting my history cloud my judgment. Possibly. I could be the hero here. Well, Captain, you make some good points. But if I'm really granting you access, I'm gonna need the following concessions. Your access will be limited. You can only take out the items related to stopping these Terramorphs. The monitors will make sure of it. You go in once, you get everything you need on your trip, and never again. And all research done with the data will be monitored. If this data is being used to save the galaxy needs to be involved in the oversight. Freestar scientists will watch your... So, do we have an agreement? Excellent. Follow me.
Honestly, that was a lot easier than I expected.
They tell me it should only take a moment. And there. It's not supposed to be a long process. It is for emergencies, after all. Here, I'll reach out to Deputy McIntyre. We'll coordinate the necessary oversights. Two unlikely allies, I guess.
This building is Freestar Zone.
Down with the FC!
Something to report?
So, what seems punishment becomes providence. A reminder we can never truly know the Great Serpent's designs for us.
Well, that was...
You have my thanks, and
yeah.
my apologies for the ordeal you just endured. Come, let us discuss. Not the ideal introduction, I suppose, giving you a grand tour of the embassy via barely functioning intercoms. I suspect the Venom tree upstairs has worked itself into more systems than I'd realized. But then again, who could cage such a beauty? Tell me though, what is it like outside? Is the rest of the city... Is that right, huh? I shall need to have these repairs seen to sooner rather than later. Now, it cannot solely be the Serp. You were sent by the UC. That much is up. And the broadcast spoke of terror morphs at the spaceport. A worrying occurrence, certainly, but coming here of... So the UC requires information, then. The preservation of life stands as the very purpose of the Archives. Using its data to prevent more attacks, there is logic there. But if I am to grant you access, for years House Varun has been known only as an agent of slaughter. In exchange for my code, I require this. The knowledge you ask for isn't evil. No knowledge is. It is we who bend it to evil ends. Well then, please.
Come on, dude, let's move.
Let's hope it still works. Let it be used for good.
Alright, is there a quick way out of here? Alright. That was, yeah. That was a very eventful episode. Lots of, shooting. And politics. Not the fun part. Anyways, thank y'all for joining, and I will catch y'all in the next one.